Hello and welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 284 for Friday, January 5th, 2024. Making Zoho Work 2024 You. From Zenatta Consulting, I'm Brett Martin.
And I'm Tyler Colt, and let's get right on into the show.
Well, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We are back, another year ahead of us, my friend. I hope you had a good one.
Absolutely. Show one of many. Yeah. Had a great holiday. How was yours? I know you had a bunch of family come flocking into town, right?
Yeah, we had everybody come into our house for Christmas, and that was great. And then we jetted over to Florida to visit with the rest of the family. And I'm actually still here, which is why I've got the historic background that you see from me, which has been pulled from the archives with the magic of green screen. But yeah, it's all good. It was all good. And I think everybody, everything seems to be, we're off to a blazing new year. Zoho's got just a bunch of news going, and I guess we've got a big show, Tyler, and we should get right on into it, huh?
Let's do it.
All righty. As always, if you are unfamiliar, over at club.zenatta.com, that is where we keep track of everything that goes on in the world of Zoho as it relates to events, not just the events that we put on, but also the events that Zoho puts on. And for us, we've got some good stuff coming up. As always, the CRM Zen Show drops every single Friday. We do a Zaz every other Wednesday. That's the Ask Zenatta Anything About Zoho, where we answer all of your questions. And then we've got a big one coming up here on January 16th. We're going to be doing a Zoho Marketing Automation 2.0 full product overview. Wayne and our marketing group is going to be doing that, I think, with you, Tyler, right? Both you guys doing that one? Kind of running through that whole thing?
Yeah, TBD on that one.
Should
be good. I know Wayne will be there, and someone else will be jumping in to add some color.
Yeah, no, if you're new to the show, or if you haven't followed it, Marketing Automation 1.0 came out back in 2019. There have been some travails. 2.0 has been coming out forever. It finally has come out, and we have been really kind of putting it through the ringer. There's actually a YouTube video that talks about the pros and cons of 2.0 right now that we've got on our channel. But this is going to be a deep dive overview, and it should be a good one. And then in February, I think we're going to have a webinar coming up on Zoho Recruit, which we've got some interesting things to talk about in the news today about Zoho Recruit, which will make that full product overview even better. And I don't know if we've populated March yet. I don't know what we've got going on in March.
It says Vault. We'll see if it's Vault. That's what we have on the list. That one is TBD. We potentially will do Vault, but we might swap that one.
Yeah, that would be a short webinar. I mean, I don't know how we could drag that out, talk about security. It would be good. And Zoho also, when you're on Club.Zenatta, we keep track of all of Zoho's upcoming webinars as well. They have got a whole bunch. Getting started with Zoho Click on the 10th, getting started with Zoho Practice on the 10th, Effective Inbox Management with Zoho Mail on the 10th. On the 17th, getting started with Zoho Practice. So just head on over there. Also, a couple Zoholics going off, one in Sri Lanka and one in Dubai. So really, really interesting stuff. So Zoho will start filling in those as time goes by. And if you don't know, Club Zenatta is our online community. We would love to have you join. All we require is your email. You can participate with other like-minded Zoho users, ask questions, get answered. Look at our code share. It's just it's a good place to hang out, and hopefully you will find it a useful Zoho community. And with that, Tyler, let's get right on into announcements or news.
Alrighty, so yeah, first story here comes from the Zoho Desk community. So these are some updates to Zoho Desk's blueprints. So blueprints, similar to CRM within Desk, are essentially used to tightly manage a process through a set of statuses. Most of the time is going to be like the ticket status that you're working through. Couple things that they have added. So the ability to revoke blueprints from multiple tickets. So if you needed to look at a list of tickets and exit them from the blueprint for any particular reason, maybe they've fallen into a weird new status, or they're just outlier tickets that we can't process that way, you can now do them in bulk or individually. So just a little bit easier if there ever is a case where you have to leave a blueprint. And then secondly, you now have the ability to skip sending a reply as part of a ticket transition. So within a ticket blueprint, you can kind of enforce at certain points in the process that a reply to the customer should be sent. And this essentially allows you to give the option to skip that reply if there are cases where it is not needed. So maybe the ticket's closed and there is no reply that's necessary because, the system's going to automatically send one. So maybe you want to just skip having it send that as part of the blueprint for that particular ticket.
Yeah, something I actually wasn't familiar that was even missing, but evidently was a major problem, the whole skip reply thing. So, but now that's fixed. But a nice little update.
And next story here from the Zoho CRM community. This is one that I was kind of looking forward to. Nothing crazy that's really going to change like your day-to-day life in CRM. But they've introduced the ability to store and display what's called a data model in the CRM. So a data model is essentially a graph, and technically it's not a flow chart, but it looks like one, essentially a diagram that shows what the different modules are within your CRM, what some of the core fields are, and how they all link and relate to one another. So if you're watching us on YouTube, we'll see here that like a account and contacts linking module can link to a contact via this lookup. Contacts can have purchase orders related, solutions related, etc. So this is oftentimes called an ER or entity relationship diagram. They're calling it a data model, which is totally fine. But this essentially just gives you the ability to very quickly and easy visualize what the data structure of your CRM is. So again, this just helps as you're kind of architecting, especially initially, like in the world of, a consultant kind of early in our implementation. A lot of the work goes into like locking this structure in. So just being able to easily visualize it will be super useful, especially to imagine like you've been using CRM for 2 years, you hire a new CRM admin, right? And they need to come in and quickly make sense of what the structure is. This is the type of diagram they're going to look for. And now it will be presented for them.
Well, it's super useful if you're just trying to understand, do I have this relationship? Where are the relationships? What does this module relate to? What are my linking modules? I mean, it's nice to be able to visualize it this way without having to go through and look at each module and see what's attached to what. So they've got a couple ways. And what's this with API? So you can now get API field names and data types, it seems like.
Yeah, so this is where like when you are writing a piece of deluge code or something like that, you'll need to reference API names, and you could already get them in the system, but you'd have to look like one module at a time, right? So like, let's look at the deals, let's look at the accounts, let's look at, the contacts and pull all of them in. Now you have one place where you can go to see all of those fields and API names, which is definitely nice. What I would love for them to do, it doesn't look like it's supported yet, but if they add the ability to actually add fields via this view to the records, I would love that, right? As you're kind of doing that initial structuring, like we just did a build for someone who's doing subscription management in CRM, and being able to quickly have a subscriptions table and then a subscriptions payments table and make sure all the lookups look proper. And it's a kind of nice way to do some of that structural design. So hopefully they continue to build on this. But yeah, shout out to Zoho. This has been a long time coming for CRM.
Very nice. All right, moving on.
Yeah, speaking of things that have been a long time coming, Zoho CRM has also added, I did that on purpose. You like that one?
Well done.
They've also added for CRM email support for the vendors module. So for those who don't use vendors in CRM, they work very similarly to accounts, where you can have many different contacts that are underneath one vendor. But it would never actually roll up any emails to the vendor. You can never send emails from that vendor record. It was just pretty minimal support for emails, right, via the vendors module. So now it should work. Or go ahead.
I was going to say, it kind of made the module useless. I mean, we would end up making the accounts module and just have it, a flag. What kind of account is this? Is it a client? Is it a vendor? Because then at least all the contacts will roll up properly, and you could actually do something with those associated contacts. So this is nice.
And the big thing too is like they're rolling over some of those features that were unique to accounts. So like if I go to a vendor and I compose an email and I want to send it out, it's going to suggest or auto-suggest contacts that are on that vendor record, right?
Yep.
Similar to how it does it for an account, which is really nice to have. Like big thing with CRMs is we're going to track all this info, but then we want to make it useful, right? And this is one of the things that makes that relationship actually useful. It'll also then show all of the related emails with the drill down and all the threading. Again, very similar to how this works on the account. Filterable by which contact on that account received the email. And then also you'll be able to do mass emailing to those vendors, similarly to how you do it with contacts. So if you had like an update to their example, here's like an ordering process or your pricing, right? You might want to notify everybody of that. So yeah, really, they've just kind of rolled this out similarly to how it works inside of the accounts. So you can assume if you could do it on an account, you could probably now do it on a vendor. So yeah, nice job for Zoho. This is, like you said, I mean, it makes the module actually useful at the end of the day.
It was completely, I mean, someone made a decision 15 years ago that they were going to neuter the vendors module for reasons beyond my comprehension. And now someone said, why did we do that? Now it is as it should be. I noticed there were some data centers that looks like were excluded there down at the bottom.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. We had one of those little brown like
this feature may
not available for mobile apps. Yeah, and it'll be in US and EU soon.
Okay. So it's not here
yet.
Yet.
Right now it's everywhere except the US and EU, but shortly it will be added there.
All right. Good stuff. Congratulations, team.
All righty. Next story here is from the world of Zoho Analytics. So as they like to do, just about every month, we get one of these roll-ups of everything new added to Zoho Analytics. So we'll go through these relatively quickly here. So new integration for Typeform. Typeform just being a popular web form builder. The form ones are always interesting to me because a form is going to go somewhere, ideally, right? Like to a CRM. So normally, like if I wanted data about a Typeform submission, I would pull it from Zoho CRM anyways. But I guess if you weren't writing it to a CRM, well, you should be, but if you weren't, then you can now pull it in. Couple more data options supported as data sources here. Atlas Data, Federation, and Amazon Lightsail. The more the merrier with these. We find ourselves using all these different connections more and more often, right? As we're working with, different applications. This is one that is not like a game-changing update, but that I really appreciate is they've updated where they manage email schedules in analytics. So in Zoho Analytics, I can make a dashboard and then say every Monday, email this to Brett. And then I could have a different dashboard and say every Tuesday, email this to all consultants. The problem was the only place to get to the list of email schedules was by opening a report, acting like you wanted to create an email schedule, and then there would be a little button for view all schedules. There was no real place that all of these lived. So they've added that. It's just part of settings now. You can make them here. You can turn them off here. You can edit them here. Again, not a life changer. Like this was already in the system. It's just, I can bet you a lot of people never found it because it was 3 layers deep in a menu. Just a nice little tweak there. Yeah, quality of life for sure. I mean, for me personally, I have a lot of clients that use those. So
now, how did they
ask Zia
and Alexa? What's this?
Go ahead.
How do they tie together?
Ask Zia
Alexa.
For Alexa. Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine when one would use this. You'll have to give this a try. I don't have an Alexa in my house, but I guess you could ask your Alexa how many deals we've closed this month, and it would tell you.
How does that?
It's kind of cool.
What do you think that does with analytics? Oh, it's going to basically, Zia is going to look at analytics and okay.
Yeah, it's basically like you can go into analytics and do like a prompt to Zia. I would assume this is just going to pass that voice prompt over. You'd be able to do it there. Ask Zia in French. Cool. Probably not something I'll use as I don't speak French, but if you do, you can now use that Zia integration for analytics. This is actually a surprisingly nice one. So Klaviyo is an email integration or an email automation tool that integrates really tightly with Shopify. And now they're supporting pulling in that Klaviyo data as part of the Shopify integration. That seems minor. It's actually really nice for people who are using that because it'll actually link all of your email data to your like Shopify customer record rather than you having to do that join later. And then a couple little updates on notifications for the BI application on the mobile device.
All right. Good job, analytics team. And moving on with the news from 2024.
It's like next one here is from Zoho Sign.
Yeah, the next story, Zoho Sign now is going to allow you to automatically detect fields from PDFs. So if you have a PDF that's a fillable PDF, and that's kind of the thing here. So you've seen those, you load them up on your screen and all the PDF fields are there to fill up. When you upload the fillable PDF into Zoho Sign now, it's basically going to automatically detect those fields. It looks like it's going to even make some attempts at figure out what they are, but you then can go ahead and properly assign those. So should make life much easier if you're ever uploading it, because normally you're going to have to drag every single field over individually, space it out, line it up, assign it, all those kind of things. So this will make things.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
that is really nice. It's essentially like guessing where those are going to be.
Yeah.
I can tell you, we've had a couple clients that have to fill out lots of government forms where there's lots of boxes that need to be filled in. This would have saved an incredible amount of time, even if it's not perfect, right? Like even if maybe I delete one or I move one a little bit, if it guesses pretty accurately, it will just save a ton of time of you clicking and dragging these all over the record. I mean, sometimes on certain forms, hundreds.
The video doesn't really show it going after checkboxes, but that's just huge if it can do it. If it can detect those fillable checkboxes, then that's gonna change things a lot. Because that's kind of, otherwise you're pixel by pixel lining that stuff up, and it's just
exactly. Been there. I have been there. Big shout out to Zoho Sign. That's really cool. They are showing it here as when you're actually sending a document on the fly. I would assume this will work if you're uploading one to create a template as well. Really cool. Big time saver if you are kind of onboarding onto Zoho Sign.
Fantastic.
All right, next one here. This is an update for Zoho Recruit. This is kind of targeted at the nerds who spend a lot of time writing deluge code. So if you've ever written deluge code in Zoho Recruit, you know that the function editor in there is real bad. It's very out of date. It didn't have a lot of the drag and drop suggested functionality. And worst of all, it had a hidden save button that you had to scroll down, and it was light gray. So you'd have a big blue save button, and then you'd have a little gray save button hidden under a scroll. Well, the little gray one is what actually saved the code. So that's the one you needed to press. Everyone has made that mistake at least once.
What did the big blue one do?
It saves that you created a function, but not the script in the function itself. It saves the function action. It's essentially what it does. So good news, they have replaced it with essentially the one that's in the other applications. So big differences are these little side things here: send mail, Zoho integration, the quick to drags, color coding, the whole UI of it, the definition of variables and arguments. I mean, just the whole thing. I won't go through every update. It's essentially now will just work like the one in CRM, which is what everybody wants. So good job to Zoho. Couple things outside of the editor. They've improved the gallery, which is the list of all functions that you have written. They've added a dashboard for tracking your function usage. This should be mandatory in every single application that has a limit. There should never be a limit that you can't see and track. So good job, Zoho. This is a need to have. And then tracking failures. This really is just lifted from Zoho CRM. These are all just features that are available in the Zoho CRM function management. That's not a critique. That's a compliment because it works really well over there. So good job to the Recruit team for, building all of this out and kind of bringing it up to snuff with the rest of their, function environments.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
All righty. One more little update here for Zoho Recruit. They are now supporting premium job posting for LinkedIn. So 2 types of job posts on LinkedIn, ones that you pay for, ones that you don't. I believe you could already integrate with the free ones. Maybe not. I could be wrong about that. But now they are allowing us to integrate with the paid job postings on LinkedIn. We have had a lot of good luck with LinkedIn recruiting.
Oh, yeah.
It's honestly where a lot of our candidates have come from in recent times. So I would recommend giving this a try. Obviously, your mileage may vary, but we have generally had really good experiences with LinkedIn. And now this will essentially allow you to just cross-post from Zoho Recruit to that platform. So Josh, if you're watching, this is really nice for us because I think we had to ask people to reapply because we have some coding questions and things like that that we host out of Recruit. So now ideally, you'll just be able to make that one smooth process.
Nice job. Our Recruit team is hard at work.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up with the first little bit of news for 2024. And Tyler, we never rest here at Zenatta, so I believe we'll probably have an implementation of the week. Is that right?
Yep, and we can jump on into that now.
Let's do that.
Alrighty, so implementation of the week. This is kind of a tie-in with a pick of the week that we did a couple weeks back. And this is where we built an integration for CRM and Zoho Books for WooCommerce subscriptions using this plugin called WP-Webhooks. So there are cases where we can use Zoho subscriptions for a customer that needs to manage subscription billing. But there are cases where it might make more sense for them to use a different tool that's a little more flexible, a little cleaner looking, a little prettier, et cetera. And so in this case, our client was going to use WooCommerce subscriptions hosted on the website to manage signups and then the repeat billing. But we still wanted all of that data to live within CRM for like the management of subscriptions. So if someone calls in, we'll know if it's active, expired, et cetera. And then also integrating the Zoho Books for accounting, right? Because you need that invoice and payment to actually land somewhere where you can account for it. So the first thing we did to start building this integration was install the WP Webhooks on the client's website. If you didn't see the previous show where we did it as the pick of the week, this is essentially a plugin that allows you to post a webhook to wherever you want based on all different types of things that happen on a WordPress site. So we're using it here for WooCommerce subscriptions, but it'll work for a ton of different plugins and applications that work with WordPress. So super easy to use. We use that to post the data whenever a subscription is updated or payment is logged for a subscription. Then we set up endpoints inside a Zoho Flow to essentially catch that data whenever those updates occur on the website. Lastly, we'll use Zoho Flow to essentially map that data to CRM to create or update customers, subscriptions, and subscription payment data, all within CRM so that you have easy access to all of that. Really similar to what you would have if you did like the Zoho subscriptions to Zoho CRM integration. Then lastly, we go ahead and create an invoice inside of Zoho Books. We do add a 3-hour delay to that piece of the workflow just because we want to make sure that the data has synced from CRM to Zoho Books in the case of like a new customer who's signing up. Then we create that invoice, create the associated payment for it, and link it up to the appropriate customer so that as subscriptions are activated, renewed, or expired or canceled, all of that data is just reconciling easily into the Zoho environment.
Wow. That is one heck of an implementation right there. And there were 3 of you. You led that one up and with Andrew and Colton. So very, very nice. With that, guys, let's head over to Zenatta.com and see what we've got going on over there. Well, what would it be the first week if we did not do a Zenatta 2023 year in review? Now, we actually dropped our show last Friday, which was our big year in review where we went through everything that happened in the world of Zoho and with us. But this kind of takes you through what some of the key things that happened here at Zenatta this year. And we had an absolutely fantastic year. I want to thank everybody who was a part of it on our team, our clients. It's just been a load of fun. And we feel like we're primed to really, really have a fantastic 2024. So again, I want to thank everybody who was helped us, who's been a client, participated, everybody at Zoho, everybody on the team. Couldn't have been gone better in 2023. And let's hope for the same in 2024. And with that, Tyler, let's wrap up this show and see what our tip of the week is. Josh is at it. Josh has got a monster tip of the week coming in at over 40 minutes. Custom API integration with CRM and Zoho Creator. This is a master class. He's writing code right in front of you. If you ever wanted to know about this, I think this is probably the deepest dive you will ever find on the internet as it relates to this stuff. And if you've not been following Josh's Creator CRM integration tutorials, and they're just, if you're doing any of that kind of work, you need to follow this stuff. But this is a big one.
Yeah, and this one kind of builds on the previous video he had made around using the default CRM and Creator integration, which does some of the work for you. But oftentimes, like for example, in our Creator portal that we use, there's a lot that we need to do outside of just the default kind of baseline integration. So I definitely recommend watching the first one first, right? Using the native integration. And then here he'll actually walk you through setting up the workflows on the CRM side to make updates into Creator. And we'll also take a look at workflows on the Creator side to send data back into CRM based on updates within Creator. So yeah, like Brett mentioned, this is like Josh writing code in front of you. You can watch this and follow along and get a lot of this work done a lot easier than it would be if you were trying to figure this out for yourself. So yeah, big shout out to Josh for doing all these videos. It is hard work, but I know he loves to do it. So if you find this video useful, make sure to jump over there, check it out, leave him a like. That'll make him a very happy guy to know that people are enjoying the videos.
Fantastic. Great job, Josh. Well, sir, I am actually not going to be around. I'm going to miss the next two shows, huh? I think so. All the Azaz, the next two shows, I'm on vacation. I'm actually going through the Panama. I'm in Miami or Fort Lauderdale right now, about to head down to the Panama Canal across and end up back home in LA. So it's going to be a fun trip, I think. But we are, anyway. So I imagine you're going to hold down the fort and all will be good.
Yep, probably have Greg jumping in and make sure that things go a little unhinged while you're gone. But yeah, we'll be soldiering on in your absence.
Yeah, I have a feeling things will be just fine. So, hey, everyone. Again, thank you for everything. Really appreciate all that you guys do and all your support. Thanks for watching. If you want to talk to Tyler or myself, just head right on over to Zenatta.com and click on Book a Meeting, and we would be happy to talk to you about how we can help you with your Zoho implementation.
On the website is also where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to the stories we discussed today. If you'd like that news delivered to your inbox every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And last but not least, we always appreciate when you like and subscribe here on YouTube, as well as your choice of podcast app. We'll see you next Friday.
Take care, everybody.